Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the Left and Right podcast. As always, I'm your host, Adrian Pisano. I hope you're all doing well. This week, I had the honor of interviewing a very distinguished guest. She is a political science and media studies graduate from the University of Tulsa and the founder and president of Girls Toward Leadership, G2L, which is a nonprofit that has empowered more than 2,000 Afghan girls through education, leadership, and mentorship programs. Under her direction, G2L has built cross-border initiatives in digital literacy, STEM, and civic engagement, creating pathways for young women to thrive despite displacement and conflict. Beyond her organizational leadership, she has contributed to international development, refugee advocacy, and policy research through roles with Counterpart International, UN, HCR, IRAP, and other global partners. She has represented Afghan women and youth at platforms including the UN Commission on the Status of Women, amplifying the voices of marginalized communities in global dialogue. With a track record of competitive fellowships, research, and advocacy, she continues to drive initiatives that advance equity, expand education, and inspire the next generation of leaders. Like I said, I met this person at the University of Tulsa, and I was able to hear about her great story. With that said, everyone, let's welcome in Mursalina Amin. Alrighty, y'all. Well, it looks like our guest has arrived here. How have you been?
Uh, Good. What about yourself?
Good, good. Just busy.
Yeah.
I bet it's pretty busy for you as well.
It is a bit new city, new place, so I'm just adjusting to a new life. So yeah.
Nah, I bet so. Is that new city? Am I correct in saying that it's a DC?
Yes, yes. Actually, I'm in the DMV area, but not exactly in DC. I'm in Virginia.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm assuming you take frequent trips down to DC.
Yes, DC is like just 20 minutes away from the place that I'm living. So yeah, we go there a lot. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let me ask. I know a former professor of ours said that DC was crazy a couple of years ago, just busy, lots of life there, lots of suits. Um, was he accurate in that description?
Yes, yes, he was. Exactly.
That's what I assume. I have yet to go, but I've heard stories, so just wanted to
Yeah.
ask. I was looking at your website, at your the nonprofit that you founded, and it says that you founded Girls Towards Leadership at the age of 18. How was that experience in starting a nonprofit? And what does the organization do today to empower Afghan women and the youth as well?
Mhm, mhm. Thank you. Well, yes, I founded this organization when I was 18 years old back in Afghanistan. I was just when the COVID-19 hit the world
Mm-hmm.
and Afghanistan, it started. I newly was getting graduated from high school, and then
Mm-hmm.
universities, schools, everything was shut down, not only for girls, but also for boys. So people could not go outside. And seeing the situation, I found myself that I wasn't in a very good mental health situation. So I had the resources because I was active in the community. I was participating in programs. I was participating in conferences. So I had the people around me to count on them. So I
Mm-hmm.
used those people, I used my resources to start something. I initially started this with a team of people who were working with me. We started as online programs for girls who were same like me, who were not in a very good mental health situation because of the COVID-19 and always at home and having no opportunity to go outside or to study outside or to see friends, to meet other people. So I started like that, and we initially after having those online programs, when the COVID was over, we started having in-person programs. We started implementing projects for Afghan girls and women, and slowly we kind of expanded the work that we were doing in Currently, we have over 2,000 Afghan girls that we have impacted through our programs and initiatives. So basically, what Girls to Leadership is doing is it's a nonprofit organization that aims at supporting Afghan girls' education through capacity building programs, through advocacy, and through educational opportunities. We have implemented
Hmm.
several projects, including the UN agencies, partnerships, and um, projects and grants. So this is basically what we are doing, and we have our alumni, the people, the girls who have been part of our programs, who are studying, currently studying at different universities around the world, are doing different things, basically.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. And especially at such a young age of 18, were you able to see a challenge perhaps and you were able to act on it by creating, this nonprofit. You said it was over 2,000, you had been able to help over 2,000 Afghan women, is that correct?
Yes, yes, it's correct. We have had different programs, as I mentioned earlier. We started as online programs, and then we started having in-person programs and grants from the UN Women. The very first grant that we got was from UN Women, through which we held a number of programs like leadership programs and mentorship programs. And one of our programs that had the most participants was the applying for scholarships program that we had. People were um, girls who participated in the program. It had different rounds. So in each round, we were helping Afghan girls to apply for scholarships, and it was um, it contained everything that's needed for applying for scholarships, starting from finding scholarships, finding grants, finding universities, and interview tips like writing letters, writing recommendation, not recommendation, but um, personal statements, and everything else that's included in applying for scholarships steps. We were working on those with Afghan girls and Afghan women, Afghan young women. So that program, that single program had like 600, almost 600 participants, like so far. That was one of the biggest programs that had a lot of participants, and from that we had kind of other similar programs that we our alumni are from those programs and are like around 2,000 people. Yeah,
Well, that's really good, good work that you guys are doing.
thank you.
Um, Yeah, no, it's really cool, especially like you said, helping with scholarships and writing them letters of recommendation. From what I've heard, I think you've mentioned it a few times, but I know education in Afghanistan for women is very different than education here in the United States or some other Western countries in that manner. Um, is that correct? And if so, how?
Yes, 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 that's correct. I wanted to mention about that earlier, but I'm glad that you asked this question. So yeah, in Afghanistan, when the Taliban took over the country in 2021, I was there. I was studying at the American University of Afghanistan, and when the Taliban took
Hmm.
over, they slowly started banning everything for women, including education, going outside, participating in sports, and everything else that gave women that agency or authority or that freedom to live freely. So they stopped women from everything of those type of stuff. It was when the Taliban took over. It was the second time that they took over the country. Like the first one was in 2001,
Okay.
before I even was born. So the second time was the time that I was going to university, unfortunately. And when the Taliban took over, Afghan girls like were banned from education, going to school, going to university, participating in sports, music. Everything was banned for women, and till now it continues like this. And women are not allowed to go to parks. Women are not allowed to get an education or go to school. And this is horrible because half of the community, half of the society in Afghanistan do not have the right to their very basic rights. So yes, this is different, and it so many people around the world they know about it, but still there are a lot of people who don't have information about the country in the world that has marginalized women like that, like Afghanistan.
Yeah, no, that's really sad to hear. I mean, I kind of was one of those people who I didn't have a lot of information until I really met you and you started to speak about some of these things in our class. And then I researched some of it, and that's how I was able to gather information on it. But prior to that, I was one of those people who, I mean, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So
No, I understand there are
that's
not a
crazy.
lot of sorry, there are not a lot of things on news as well because when the Taliban took over the country, like we Afghanistan overall was in the headlines of the news like just for a few months, I can say. It wasn't a big thing. It didn't become a big thing, and everything became normal for people around the world since other wars and other countries wars started, and then Afghanistan uh, was forgotten at that time. So I understand that many people around the world still don't have information about Afghanistan. It's because there's not a lot on the news and there's not a lot on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope I'm doing my little piece like with this podcast to get information like this out, especially to the youth. And it's so cool seeing you succeed coming from that area. Let me ask you about your journey to the University of Tulsa, which is in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma unfortunately is a state that no one really knows. It's in the middle of our country and it's just there. So, how did you end up at the University of Tulsa majoring in political science?
Yeah, it's really interesting, Adrian, and I'm glad that I joined University of Tulsa and the fact that we were classmates in a few classes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, the University of Tulsa, I told you that when the Taliban took over the country, I had to leave the country because I was studying at the American
Mm-hmm.
University of Afghanistan, and the American University of Afghanistan helped us to get out of the country and transfer to the
Okay.
American University of Central Asia in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. So I studied there for two
Mm-hmm.
years as a transfer student. And then I was a time since I was also a U.S. Embassy scholar in Afghanistan. We had our cases to come here in the U.S. So from there I transferred to the University of Tulsa. It was interesting that I had the scholarship of the U.S. Embassy, and they wanted to transfer us to the U.S. institutions. And the University of Tulsa was not something that I knew about, like
Mm-hmm.
initially. I also didn't know Oklahoma, like back in Afghanistan, nobody knew it. Just we knew the very big cities like Virginia, like California, but not like Oklahoma. Like I
Yeah.
personally didn't know about it. So the thing is that the university, I have a number of I and some of my friends we applied to this university like in a group because it had a refugee scholarship. But I had that letter
Mm.
of admission letter, but because I wasn't planning to go to US, so I had it like that. But when everything changed, I had that letter, and the US embassy was helping us to get into US institutions. Since I had this letter, they said that it's good that you have this letter of admission, and they took me to the University of Tulsa. I didn't know much about it at all. So this is really interesting that I came to the University of Tulsa, a place that I didn't know a lot about or even at all. So when I joined the University of Tulsa, everything like changed. I loved the place. I started loving the place, the people that I was meeting, my classmates, my professors, and everything. Like eventually I started liking it a lot. Like I wasn't expecting that I would love the university, the city, the people, my classmates, and everything this much by the end of the time that I'm graduating from this university. So yes, it's really interesting. It was really not planned, but um, yeah, it was something that was unplanned but great for me. A great experience for me.
I'm gonna share the same sentiment with you. I'm from Colorado, which is about the part where I'm at in Colorado is about 9 hours away from Tulsa,
Hmm.
and me along with you, I had never heard of Tulsa either. So me being from so close, I hadn't heard of Tulsa either till I applied there. So it was really interesting when you where you said where you were from, and then you ended up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which, like we said, it's not as known as some of these other bigger cities.
Exactly. Yeah.
You were selected to be a part of the Global Youth Fellowship program. How has that experience been? Are you still a part of that program? Did that start right after you graduated from TU?
Yes, I was selected there because I initially I heard from it about it from the CSW event that I was invited to at the UN that I spoke about the situation of Afghan
Hmm.
girls in there, and I represented Afghan girls in a panel. So from there, I learned about it and I learned about the fellowship, and I was selected from 2000, almost from among 2000 youth from around the world. And then I was among the 15 people who was selected, and I was the youngest one who was
That's
selected to
awesome.
be Global
Congrats.
Youth Fellow. Thank you. And it was just for 1 year. It's over now, but the experience was great. I got to meet a lot of great people. The previous CSW was CSW 69. I really enjoyed participating in different side events of the UN, of the CSW. CSW is the Commission on the Status of Women, which is held annually by the UN and in partnership of other UN agencies. So basically, it was a great
Hmm.
experience. I participated in many UN programs and the UNCSW NGO, which is the organization who is supporting the Global Youth Fellowship. I was part of
Okay.
the programs that they had also. I was a panelist, I was an organizer or organizing team member, and we were helping with mentorship of youth as well. So yes, it was a great experience, I can say.
Yeah, no, that's what it seems like. And I mean, once again, congrats, because I mean, to be selected, to have 15 selected out of over 2,000, you said, youth around the world. I mean, that's really awesome. So congratulations again,
Thank you so much.
of course. So, I mean, I'm looking at your resume, and for such a short time, I mean, you've accomplished a lot of things. I mean, founding G2L when you were 18, and then having to leave your country and come to the University of Tulsa and majoring in political science, and then being selected for the Global Youth Fellowship as we talked. So you've had a lot of experience, but I want to ask you, what's the best or the hardest lesson that you've learned during your time in advocating um, these past few years?
Yeah, actually, the years that I have been advocating for women's rights or for girls' rights or girls' education, it's been full of lessons actually. I learned a lot. In the meantime that I was advocating, I was learning stuff myself, not only about the things that I was advocating about myself. I found myself among people. I met a lot of people. Everybody had different lessons. So what I basically can say I learned, it was a hard lesson. It is, I can say patience, because advocacy is not something that um, sometimes it can have an immediate impact, but sometimes it cannot. So you have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be consistent. You have to be uh, like you have to have that commitment for the cause that you believe in. But once you have the patience and once you have the commitment and the also passion to work for that cause, you will eventually see the result of your efforts. So I can say patience. So many people, I saw so many people working with me in the same journey, but I know that it wasn't that easy to keep that commitment, give it time, or to be consistent in your work. And so many people, like I saw them, they got demotivated when they saw things weren't working really. But I can say that patience and commitment and being consistent is really helpful when you're advocating for something that you really believe in. So yeah, these are the lessons that I have learned among all other lessons that I have learned so far.
Yeah, no, that's good. A lot of people say patience is key, and I mean that's especially the case when it comes to advocating for different issues around the world.
Yeah,
So it's a hard lesson to learn at times.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's how it works. Like in so many things, it's not just in advocacy, but I have noticed this in advocacy that you need to be patient and you need to have the commitment because not everything that you're advocating for will give you an immediate result or will take you somewhere immediately. You need to be patient. Um, you need to believe in your cause. Basically, you need to believe what you're doing is right. You need to have your information. You need to have the people. You need to build that community for yourself, and you need to build that like the thing to like help you succeed in your advocacy.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear, and I hope the audience can take something away from that. I know you have a busy schedule, but we do a segment here called The Last Word, and I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to a minute just to talk about anything that we maybe haven't talked about on the podcast, any advice that you have for the youth, what's going on in your life, what could we be looking to hear from you. So I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the time and thank you for having me, Adrian. I'm so happy for you that you have this
Of
podcast
course.
and I wish you best of luck with this podcast and anything else that you're doing.
Thank you, thank you.
For youth, I believe I would like to tell them to not shy away from people. Do not do not find that comfort zone alone. Like find yourself among people, talk to people, connect with people, do networking. It's really helpful. Like our generation is usually on internet, on their phones, on their laptops. I in this generation, what I really would like to recommend everyone and suggest everybody is to spend time with each other, network in real life, do it on internet as well, but do it in real life too. It's more meaningful. It's more um I can say it's really good. So I just want to recommend everybody to do know people, network with people, connect with people. It's good.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I wanna thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast. I know you're doing great things out there, and I want to wish you continued success as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, Adrian.
Of course, well, I will talk to you later once again. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time and thanks for your podcast and having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.